Hi everyone, welcome back from spring break. I hope you all had the opportunity to have a little relaxation without too many assignments. What we're going to do today is we're going to be doing a little bit of an activity of weaving. Many of you may not have realized, but most of our fabric is created by weaving different threads to create that fiber. For the most part, the weaving is two different types of weaving, but I'm not really going to go into that right now. I'm going to go into that when we actually start doing the weaving. Today, our first part is just going to be collecting our supplies and preparing our supplies. So what I would like you to do is go into your craft supplies and grab some pieces of construction paper. If you can't find construction paper, I will give you some other options at the end of this video that you can utilize. But you'll still do the same techniques with whatever type of paper you are utilizing. Okay? So the first part that we are going to do is we are going to be preparing our pieces that are going to be woven. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my construction paper and I'm going to be cutting strips out of it. They'll end up looking like this. Okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using my ruler and I'm going to be marking every ½ inch. So I'm just going to use a pencil. I'm going to mark every ½ inch. We've got a friend here. She's going to help me out. Now, with measuring, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you mark in several different spots so that your line will be straight. If you just mark one spot and then try to draw your line, it's likely not going to be straight and you're going to end up with a slanted strip. So I'm just going to go down the line. But once I've done that, I would probably go that third line and then I would even go one more so that I end up with pieces like this. Okay, you can see I have all my markings. And then what I can do is then I can just rotate my paper, line up my ruler with all those marks, and then I can draw my line. And then I can just do that with each of my lines. Now, once I have all those lines, then all you have to do is then cut those strips. Now, I have a couple of different colors that I'm going to be utilizing for my weaving. However, if you only have one color, that's okay. Okay, if you only want to use one color, that's fine too. All right, so I kind of was going with a little LCMR pride right here. Now, once you have all of your strips, okay, I've got quite a few strips. I likely will cut some more so that I have plenty available for whatever pattern I want to do for my project. Okay, but once you have cut your strips, we're going to need to create our base that we're going to be weaving on. Okay, so I'm going to swap out. I'm going to be utilizing just white paper. Again, it's going to be helpful for you with my demo as I'm working to use this color so that you can see the colors, but you don't have to use white paper. You can use whatever color you'd like. But the first thing that I want to do is do a border along the top here. Okay, so this border is going to be ½ inch. All our measurements are going to be ½ inch. And again, just like I did with my strips, I want to mark ½ inch in several different spots so that I will have an accurate and straight line. So I match up all my markings and I draw my line. Now the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna be drawing lines going this way. So again, I'm gonna be doing my 1/2 inch, and I'm just gonna mark every 1/2 inch. And then I'll work my way down, do the same thing there, do one more down here, and then what I will do is I will line up my markings and I'll draw my line. Now once I've done all of those lines, I'll end up with something like this. Okay, you can see I have all those lines there, and as I moved it over, you can also see I already started cutting it. So I have one more strip that I need to cut, but as you can see, I only cut to that border line there. Okay, that's going to be important for when we do our weaving. So I'm just going to cut along that line. All right, and then I have all of those openings there. Okay, and that's going to be our base for our weaving. Now, what do you do if you don't have construction paper? Okay, you can use any sort of paper that you have in your house. If you have computer paper or printer paper, you can use that. You can even color it. Okay, you can color it with colored pencils, markers, crayons, whatever you want to use. If you don't have printer paper, you could always use a newspaper. Okay, you could cut it to a smaller size, and then you can cut your strips. You may have to use a marker instead of a pencil or a pen so that you can go over those lines and make sure that you can see the lines for your cutting. But you certainly can use a newspaper. And if nothing else, if you have lined paper, you can use lined paper. Now what if you don't have a ruler? For some reason you can't find a ruler, you don't have one in your house, I would suggest utilizing a piece of lined paper. Okay, you can use those lines. With this one, I would probably go two lines. So I would maybe take my pencil and kind of run along that line and then go to the next line. Or if you feel confident you can just cut it on your own, you certainly can do that too. Okay, but I would do with this lined paper, I would do 2 lines rather than cutting each of the little strips. Okay, in this case, what you may have to do is cut your piece a little short to create your border piece here, or your base piece here, so that when you have all these strips, they'll go the same length as your bottom. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is make sure that you get a bunch of strips of construction paper, okay, any colors that you want, and I also want you to get that base created. And then what I'll do is later in the week, I will post another video that has all of the demonstrations for weaving with these materials. Bye.